Data privacy is number one concerns organizations have today. As more and more AI use cases are coming up and more analytics and integrations use cases are there. So there are various laws are in place for maintaining the data privacy, and organizations have a responsibility to enforce those laws. And a non-enforcement of these laws have huge penalty, and huge penalty converts to not only the penalty, but also the reputational damage which the organization have is very consequential. There is a constantly the cyber threat, there is a data volume is going up. You need to build a trust with the customers, and that's one of multiple reasons that organization need to maintain their data privacy and ensure that the PII data, personal data, which is confidential data, is all protected, shared, governed with the proper processes and control in place in the organization. Then only it's shared with the other people, ensuring the policies are enforced. Different countries have different regulations. It started by European Union, which is GDPR, which is one of the main law. Then obviously there is a California, state of California also passed the law called CCPA. And then there is a Brazil have LGPD, the India just recently passed DPTP, Saudi Arabia have a new law called NDMO. So there are various countries have different laws. And they mostly talk about the one part, which is organizations have to protect the privacy data of their customers in a manner that it cannot be exploited by others. So that's the main fundamental principles behind protecting the data. Although the different regulations have different provisions, but underlying, everybody asks to do certain activities, which is like classifying your data, keeping the PII data at one areas and govern it in a manner that it can be compliant with the various laws. The data privacy and compliance tool is needed because of the scale. So if you have only one system in place, you probably will not need any tool because you know what PII data exists there. It's very easy to manage. And because there are probably, generally speaking, there are 180 different applications every organization have, close to 100 to 1,000. Now, managing the PII data in those number of applications is a nightmare for organizations. And that is why you need a tool which can connect to all these systems, get the data, find the PII information in it, and help you control and manage the data in those various applications. And make sure that you are complying with the laws, and then ensure that you are complying as well as you have auditability maintained. So scale is the number one reason you need a tool to manage your data privacy and compliance. In order to protect the data privacy for any organization, first they want to prioritize the data. Because there are multiple systems exist in your organization, you cannot just put it and start protecting all the data at every application. You have to obviously start with your CRMs, which is the high priority data where your most critical customers information exists. So you protect the data there, and it's of course start creating inventory, and then it's classifying the data there, and map the data across your systems so that ultimately you have the inventory of all the PII data. Then you want to manage your policies and associate those policies with the PII data so that you have a centralized place where you have all the data, which is PII, and the policy associated to it. Of course, you want to align your ownership, your stewardship to it so that everything is at one centralized place, and ensure that your privacy is included in your business processes so that your business processes are not going out without the proper control of privacy laws in place. And then you have to obviously continuously monitor and improve your data privacy laws. Whether the new data get created, you have to ensure that the data get associated with the privacy policies and keep improving that. Automating this entire implementation is the key for implementing the data privacy. Now, fortunately, we have tools like OvalEdge, which can crawl the data from hundreds of systems. Very easily, you have the centralized inventory for all your data. After that, what you do, you classify your data, and the AI algorithms go and classify the data, which find which one is PII, which one is non-PII. So you have all the PII data at one place. Then you manage access through those information, that who have access to the data, who does not have access to the data. You manage that centrally with your centralized access management system so that you know who have access to it, and ensure that the tool already have capability to monitor and control that, keep monitoring it as well as keep auditing it, so that if the PII data access is given to an individual, this tool is keeping track of all this information so that you are always compliance ready. Your auditor knows where this information exists, etc. Those are the part of the tool, but there are also various requirements for the laws. Like, for example, you have to right to forget, right to delete. Those are the various rights. So you can even automate those processes as well so that you can find the data, research the data for individual and can send this information to the customers. That also can be automated with the tools like OvalEdge. So mature data privacy program have multiple elements to it. Obviously, you need to classify and protect your PII data. So for that, all the PII data needs to be mapped and governed across your data ecosystem. Your policies about the data and about the PII data need to be embedded inside your data operations. You should have real-time monitoring alerts to make sure that new PII data get created. The PII team is always aware about that information and keep protecting that data. Ability to adopt very quickly the new regulations. So you want to make sure that no requirement is unfulfilled. Those are the various things you must do in a mature data privacy program.